piggyback on Mike's question, why do you think so much focus is placed upon your personality or lack thereof, as people say, instead of your prowess in the ring, which is what it should be based on in the first place?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, I mean, we could have kind of another superficial, time together where we just talk about just superficial stuff, or we can talk real. I mean, if you guys want to talk real, we can talk real. That's a good question. I don't talk a lot about myself, but I feel like I'm a great representative for this sport. I think that, I can talk pretty well. I don't think I'm an ugly guy. Pretty handsome. My wife's right there. She may attest to that. And I think, honestly, some of the stuff that you read, I think a lot of it is personal. And I think the individuals that write it, I think you have to ask them, why they write what they write. And you guys know, like I know, that boxing is a small, incestuous business. It's small. It's not a major network. So it's kind of the same regurgitated story that's being written, if you ask me. Now, I'm not a fighter who says that all critics are bad. I need critique sometimes. My wife critiques me. I got people in my life that critique me, my trainer. If you guys call me out on something, a performance, and it's warranted, then hey man, I gotta live with that, and I gotta get better. But if the source of the critique is always a negative person who never has anything positive to say, and if that person is always got something bad to say about Andre Ward or this particular fighter or this particular style of fighter, then I'm probably a little less apt to receive that advice. And that's just me. And then when I speak out about these things like this, as respectfully as I can, but passionate because I care about this sport, I've dedicated over half my life to this sport. I have given up a childhood for this sport, and I feed my family by this sport. And I literally put my life on the line. When I get in the ring, I know that sounds cliche, but like, we do that when we spar 3 days a week. I feel like I have the right to talk about these things, right? So when I speak about it, they say, oh, Ward's arrogant, he needs to stop talking. But when you don't speak, then they make it seem like you're aloof and you have no personality and you have nothing to say. So sometimes what I do is I just fall back and I won't say anything because I want to make sure that when I speak, I say the right thing. And it's not always easy because, and I think sometimes that, my critics sometimes misread my silence as if I don't have anything to say, or as if, well, he can't come back on that because these are facts. If they only knew. I got a lot to say. But again, I'm not representing myself in this sport. I'm representing God, I'm representing my family, I'm representing my team. I gotta make sure that I say things the right way when I do speak. But a lot of those things, they're personal. And I think personal beefs or personal vendettas, they have no place in the sport. If a particular writer, and I'm not singling anybody out because there's a lot of tremendous writers in this sport and people who are objective, that call it like they see it. If there's a personal problem, a great broadcaster, a great commentator, a great writer, you should never know about it. Because my job is to give you the facts, not my personal opinion. But in boxing today, you have a lot of writers who don't want to cover the story. They want to become the story. And I don't think there's any place for that in the sport. So you watch some of the feedback that comes off of this. But that's fine, because at some point in time, I'm going to speak up and refute some of the things that are written out there. And honestly, I don't read it, but I get the overflow. I got family, I got friends, I got people who read this stuff and they're like, Dre, say something. I'm like, man, I'm gonna wait for the right time. I don't read it. And unfortunately, because a lot of that stuff happens, not just to me, it's not just an Andre Ward issue, but a lot of people, I don't watch a lot of boxing like I used to. And I love boxing. I read everything but boxing websites now. And there's no disrespect. But I'm not gonna read stuff when the main guy who has carried our sport for I don't know how many years, Floyd Mayweather, can't get his just due. And this is an individual, this is no rant, this is my art. I'm just telling you, I just asked y'all if y'all want to have a real conversation or just something superficial, and we're 2 or 3 and we get out of here. I'm trying to give you guys me. Okay, personal life aside, you can compartmentalize that. But in the ring, it's a bad man. That's a bad man. I call Floyd my legend. Because that's the individual in my era that I grew up watching, that I grew up idolizing, that I stole things from. My jab to the stomach comes from Floyd. When I fought Carl Froch, and I knew that it was going to be a boisterous UK crowd in Atlantic City, I watched the Ricky Hatton fight 100 times. How did Floyd deal with this kind of pressure? How did he deal with this? I talked to Floyd recently. I'm not going to tell you guys what we talked about, but Floyd is available, and he's open to talk to the young guys that are in the sport. Personal life aside, everybody has varying and different opinions on that, but I'm talking about in the ring, we don't even respect this guy. He is a legend. We say things like he runs and he's not exciting and he's this and that. Floyd Mayweather has fought everybody who wanted him to fight. Everybody. Floyd has been cut in fights. Floyd has been wobbled and hurt badly in fights. Floyd has had injuries in the ring and battled back. But that's not respected. And people don't want to admit it, but we're going to miss him. This is a tremendous fight this weekend. 2 great warriors and two great champions, but somehow, some way, Floyd's name keeps coming out. We're going to miss him. And it's sad. This is I'm not coming down on you guys. Man, if the shoe fits, wear it. But I'm just saying, in general, it's sad, man, and it hurts me that this guy, like, I know what it feels like to get buzzed and sparring. I know, no disrespect, but a lot of media is not there for that stuff. Nobody's behind the scenes, and to your credit, you guys aren't privy to that stuff, but when I got to make a tough decision about my knee, I know what they're going right. Oh, here he goes again. But I'm on the phone with my wife, like, man, babe, what should we do? Like, man, I can get in there at like 75% and go get this check and try to please everybody. Been in camp 6 weeks, spending money on 4 sparring partners, a cook, massage therapist, acupuncture, all this stuff. Do I just waste that? We got to make a tough decision. So people aren't around for that stuff. So I have backed up a lot from the personal side of boxing, and I cover it when I'm fortunate enough to broadcast, and obviously when I have a fight coming up. But it's not a good look for our sport. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let y'all continue to ask questions. I'm a casual UFC fan, but when I tune into UFC fights, you never hear them bashing their fighters. A guy can have 5 losses, and they'll say something like, his stand-up game isn't that good, but watch this guy on the ground. So as a casual, I'm like, man, okay, let me stay into. But if you tune into a fight, like, oh, this guy's horrible. Why would I'm not gonna stay around and watch it. If you guys don't even like it, I'm not gonna. So, back to your question about me, some of that stuff is personal. Some of that stuff is personal, because when you ask them, and I've had good conversations with guys one-on-one and say, man, what's the problem? They can't answer me. I've had guys say things like, well, I just want you to move up in weight. Like, what part of the game is that? Like, I was like, man, I understand that, but like, we'll move up when we think we're ready. But you know why they want me to move up? Because first it was, he's got an amateur style. Then it was, there's no way he'll beat this guy. No, the amateur style, he can't take a punch. There's no way he'll beat this guy. And then somehow, some way, we kept winning. And then now, his style is boring. And then when that didn't work, then it's like, well, you know, well, he showed us against Dawson that he can do. Well, now it's nobody wants to see me fight. Nobody, you know. I didn't like the color of his trunks, you know. I didn't like the music. I mean, it's just starting to get ridiculous. But instead of me falling back as much as I have, I'm going to speak more, because not for my sake. I'm not trying to defend myself, because I'm secure in who I am. I really am. And boxing is what I do, it's not who I am. It's a part of my life, but it doesn't like define me. But my fans and my supporters and my loved ones, they deserve to hear some pushback sometimes, and that's basically what this is.